The talent, the competitors, the people we were able to add to this group, it feels like this offseason, the A plans have come through.
He struck him out!
This is that first real big piece.
It's just something you want to be a part of.
Tommy Edman, Blake Trinan. Great to have both of those guys back. The Dodgers signed a left-handed hitting outfielder.
Conforto breaks the ice.
They've already added Tanner Scott.
Strike three called.
Oscar Hernandez is back.
Teo, a hero!
I'm happy, excited just to be back.
Hai-Sung Kim, the infielder, star from the KBO.
An aggressive offseason, more aggressive than any other team in baseball.
The newest Dodger pitching phenom, Roki Sasaki.
He's got lightning stuff, touches 102.
It's about doing everything we can to make sure that we win that last game of the season.
Another huge offseason here in LA. The 2025 Dodgers roster, yeah, it's pretty stacked. The excitement's already off the charts. It's going to be great. One of the Dodgers' biggest offseason pieces was the addition of Japanese free agent Roki Sasaki. Already with 4 professional seasons under his belt in Japan, Sasaki is expected to step into an already stacked starting rotation for the World Series champs. Recently at Camelback Ranch, Kirsten got connected with Roki Sasaki.
Roki, you are in your Dodgers blue. You're here at spring training. What has the first few weeks been like for you as a Dodger?
初日はちょっと緊張したんですけど、2日目以降はちゃんと慣れて、いいペースで自分の練習ができてるかなと思ってます。
What has been your favorite part thus far?
そうですね。まずはロハス選手にお礼を渡せたこと。それがまずはできてよかったなと思ってます。
So tell me about the gift. You ended up bringing him a special sake from Japan. Tell me about it, how you picked that out, and why you felt that was the perfect gift for him.
お酒というかお酒が好きだっていうのを聞いてたんで、それを選んだのと、どの種類かは僕はあんまお酒飲まないんで、それはもう知り合いに聞いて、買ってもらってっていう感じです。
Let's go back to when you signed with the Dodgers. What made this organization the best fit for you?
そうですね。フロントの安定感と、あとは自分が成長していく中で、必要な環境だったり、そういうものが一番揃ってるかなと思ったからです。
This is a big transition to come to Major League Baseball, and I have to imagine with having familiar faces like Shohei Ohtani as well as Yoshinobu Yamamoto, how beneficial has it been having them with this transition to Major League Baseball to living in the States and playing for the Dodgers?
そうですね。キャンプ入って動きとか日本と違うことが多いので、その中で経験してることを伝えてくれたりとか、流れとか教えてもらったりして、動きやすかったりとか、準備しやすさはあるかなと思います。
We're now here in Arizona for spring training, but soon we'll be back in Los Angeles. Is there anything that you're looking forward to most about being in LA, whether it's, I know we talked about going to the beach, things like that. What are you looking forward to most?
でもまずは球場で、今年は工事中だったんで、球場綺麗なグラウンドで、あとはロッカールームとかも変わってるので、そこを見るのが楽しみです。
What do you think it's going to be like when you first go out onto that mound at Dodger Stadium?
そうですね。まずは開幕して、メジャー契約をまず勝ち取れるように頑張りたいですし、そしてメジャー契約勝ち取ってドジャースのマウンドでまずは投げて、今年1年間そのマウンドに入れるように頑張りたいなと思ってます。
Well, Roki, I know that this entire organization is so happy that you have chosen to be a part of the Dodgers. We've seen you with your bullpens. There's so much excitement already. So wishing you nothing but the best in this 2025 season, and thank you for joining us. Arigato.
Thank you.
That's all I know. I will learn some more, I promise.
We're all trying to learn. Dave Roberts announced before tonight's game that Roki's going to make his Cactus League debut next Tuesday night against the Cincinnati Reds, expected to go about 3 innings. JP, before he's even thrown a single major league pitch, let's talk about expectations for his rookie season.
I expect Roki Sasaki to get off to a really hot start, John. I just look at his stuff and I look at the fact that he doesn't have a book on him yet. And really, the question is how long he can keep that going, because you know the league is going to adjust. As soon as that first game is in the books, you got the StatCast metrics, you got the pitch movement profile, the adjustment's going to happen. And so how does Sasaki adjust to that? And is he able to continue to learn as he has already in spring training? We'll see. It might not be a straight line to the Rookie of the Year award, but he's got the stuff to do it if he can make the adjustments.
I mean, there's two big things I'm looking at with him. The first thing is attacking the hitters that are in the middle of the lineup and knowing when to challenge them, right? Because a lot of times guys are going to get on base, and he's getting used to getting away with like his split finger and getting guys out. But can he get those guys out with fastballs away? Can he paint the corner on? Because you're going to have to use your fastball a lot in the big leagues. And the second thing is, I really want to see him go long into the game, because with the bullpen, we know the bullpen is going to be great, but I want to see the longevity and let the bullpen be rested for the postseason.
All right, we'll see what he can do Tuesday nights at Cactus League play against the Cincinnati Reds. Still 11 Cactus League games left. The Tokyo series less than 3 weeks away. Coming up, we'll discuss the biggest question marks remaining on this Dodgers roster. Here's a look at some of the Dodgers' key upcoming dates with only 11 more Cactus League games left. March 18th and 19th, Dodgers will be in Japan for the Tokyo series against the Chicago Cubs. Then back to Southern California, March 23rd, the annual Freeway Series with the Angels. March 27th, the home opener against AL Cy Young Award winner Tarek Skubal and the Detroit Tigers, with the World Series ring ceremony coming your way that following Friday nights. We are at the halfway point of Cactus League play. Opening day now is just 18 days away. So we're going to discuss some of the biggest question marks that might still remain unanswered. There are many options for the Dodgers at second base, James. When Tommy Edman's not starting there, who do you think will be the starter at second base for the Dodgers?
Yeah, I know we got some options right there with Kiki, Taylor, and Rojas, but I think I really like Rojas. You know, with Mookie at short, you know, having a veteran up the middle right there, a solid defender. I know Kike can get it done, but I like saving Kike sometimes for late in the game situation, maybe for an outfield or for a big hit. So I'm going with Rojas right there.
JP?
Yeah, I'm with you, James. I like Rojas out of those three the most. I have Kim starting the season in AAA. The one thing you have to worry about with Miguel Rojas is the workload. You know, you can't trot him out there for 162 games, so you have to put the brakes on a little bit. So you will see, I think, some combination of Kike Hernandez and Chris Taylor in there, but I like Miguel Rojas as well as the primary second baseman.
How about for the games when Tommy Edman is playing second base, JP? Who do you like playing center field then for the Dodgers?
I like Kike Hernandez. I think that center field is such a premium defensive position. You have to have somebody out there who you can trust to run down the baseball, and right now, Kike Hernandez is probably the best in that group at doing that. I think Andy Pages can work his way into the conversation if he shows that he's a defensively responsible center fielder in spring training. I think that would even things out and obviously give him a place on the roster where the Dodgers could use him. I just don't think he's there yet.
Yeah, I like this because with Kike, I feel like this is where you can give him his at-bats. You know, I agree with you. Playing Kike right there, and he can control center field so well. He's done everything, obviously, and he really takes great angles. You know, he doesn't get enough credit. You know, you always see him making great plays on the infield, taking great angles, but he also takes great angles on the outfield. He's not the fastest guy in the world, but you don't have to be the fastest guy in the world if you know how to take the right route.
All right, as for the pitching side, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Blake Snell, Tyler Glass. Now, we know all three will be in the rotation, so will Roki Sasaki. But my question, James, is will we see Roki Sasaki make every start, every turn in the rotation that he gets? And also, who's going to be the fifth starter in your mind?
Yeah, I don't think so. You know, I really love Dustin May's stuff. You know, I think if he can stay healthy, you know, even tonight, I thought he had a really great outing, even though the grand slam was hit. He was a couple pitches away from getting out of that. I like Tony Gonsolin as well. You know, I think he's a competitor. But, you know, you got Landon Knack, you got Sasaki, but I really like May as that wild horse. And if May doesn't end up starting a lot of games, I think he's going to come out of the bullpen.
I think you are going to see a lot of Hiroki Sasaki this season. I just don't think you do the press conference and have Andrew Friedman up there saying we're going to let this guy pitch unless he is going to make that turn on a regular basis. I kind of like Tony Gonsolin for the fifth and final spot there, though. Tony's stuff is maybe a little bit better suited to go 2 or 3 times through the order than Dustin May's. I think, though, that if you look at the history of each of those two guys, Tony Gonsolin has proven that he can pitch deep into a season. He's I believe, gotten past the 160 inning mark. Dustin May hasn't even pitched 100 innings in a season, so I think that's got to be a bit of a red flag.
And it's possible we see both of those guys piggybacking each other early on this 2025 season. One more. The bullpen looks to once again be one of the big strengths of this team, JP, with several strong options at closer. Do you think someone's going to emerge as the full-time closer, or will it still be somewhat of a closer by committee in your mind?
I think it'll be somewhat of a closer by committee. I think the Dodgers have shown the past couple years now that they are not beholden to giving a guy the 9th inning if there's another guy who's better suited to take down the 3 hitters who are due up in the 9th inning. And when you have Blake Trinan, Tanner Scott, Kirby Yates, just go on down the list, Kopech, all these guys, you don't amass that group of guys with closing experience. You're only going to use one of them in the 9th inning all season long. I think the Dodgers will use their personnel to their advantage all season.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with your mentality right there, having those 3 guys as options. But I love Blake Trinan, man. I just love the stuff that he brings. I love the bulldog mentality for a 9th inning. Is there times where you're going to bring him in and play, face 3, 4, 5 hitters in the 8th inning? Sure. But I like training in the last inning to get me 3 outs just because he's got the swing and miss stuff. And we've seen that slider just wipe out lefties and righties.
And a couple guys who are going to be late to start this season, Michael Kopech, Evan Phillips, Brusdar Graterol. 3 more really good arms that could be options as well in high leverage situations. Coming up, our spring conversation with Landon Knack. He reflects on a whirlwind rookie season that ended with a World Series ring. Made their major league debuts last season. Talk about a memorable first year in the show for those guys. They all have a World Series ring headed their way in late March. Recently, Jerry sat down with one of those guys at Camelback Ranch as we get connected with Landon Knack.
Mr. Landon Knack, how do you evaluate your first season in the big leagues?
I'd say it was pretty good. Yeah, I mean, obviously getting to debut kind of early in the year, getting to be part of it early on, and then kind of rode the train back and forth from OKC and up, but just tried to make the most of the opportunities while we were there and getting to spend some time around those guys, and then obviously getting to finish up making the postseason roster, being able to win a World Series as a rookie. I mean, kind of reach the mountaintop that earlier in your career. I mean, it's been a roller coaster, man.
You got to be saying, wow, this is easy, man. It's big league stuff easy. Win a World Series in LA. I want to go back to your first big league start at Dodger Stadium. I want you to talk about that, and then obviously the emotions you felt pitching in the postseason and getting a chance to win a World Series. And that's a short amount of time, May to October. Start with your first big league start.
Yeah, obviously got off to a little bit of a rocky start in that. I kind of let myself, I got out there for my debut and I kind of took a moment and just kind of looked around the stadium and kind of took it all in for a minute. And obviously that first inning kind of got the heart rate up a little bit, kind of let it speed up on me a little, but got out of it. And then the rest of the game, it was just like, all right, now we're here, now we go. And so the rest of the game felt good and went smooth. Thank goodness I was able to get through those 5. But it was just an unbelievable experience just to be able to get out there and actually debut at Dodger Stadium after almost debuting in Korea and kind of getting pump fakes a little bit there where we got warm and it just didn't work out to get in there. But being able to do it at Dodger Stadium was unbelievable. And then, yeah, being able to pitch in the postseason, to be able to pitch in San Diego, to finish that Game 4, being able to experience how loud those fans are, even while we were up like 8-0, was still just like unbelievable. And then getting to pitch in the World Series at Yankee Stadium, Yankees Dodgers World Series. I mean, yeah, like in the moment you're kind of just doing your thing and just kind of just taking care of what you can. And then it really didn't hit me too much until I finished, like truly what I just did, like pitch in a World Series as a rookie, go 4 innings at Yankee Stadium. Like, it was just unbelievable.
We saw that right away. And that's one thing that, when we're, obviously covering you guys as Dodger broadcasters, we recognize a lot of you guys, when you get to the big leagues, you guys hit the ground running. Is it development? Is that where you guys are taught not only in spring training, but in A-ball, AA, AAA? So when you do get to the big leagues, you hit the ground running and are able to pitch in the postseason right away.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot of it, I think, is the culture of everything. It's kind of you know what you're working towards the entire time. You know the expectation of this organization, always putting out a winning team out there, and so you kind of know when you get there what's expected of you, and so you've kind of been able to mentally prepare for that type of moment for as long as you've been there. So they do a really good job of preparing us and getting us ready for everything. And then once you kind of get in that clubhouse, like you've got so many veteran guys to be able to kind of lead you through things. Blake has been a great guy to be able to talk to and be able to kind of calm your nerves kind of as you're out there and be able to give some good advice and pick his brain a little bit. And so we just have a very good group to be able to make sure that we're ready for that moment.
You're a guy that can start. You're a guy that can close that 3-inning save. You are going to be probably using a variety of roles. How prepared are you to do that once again?
We're very prepared for it, yeah. I think last year was such a good experience of being able to show that, yeah, I mean, whatever is kind of needed, I can start games and go 6 innings. I can come out of the pen. We kind of have experienced everything we needed to be able to be very versatile for this team. So, yeah, we're just feeling good about being ready for whatever is needed and knowing that, like, whatever role they put me in, like, they're going to put me in a good spot to succeed.
Landon Knack spent the 2024 season between the Dodgers and Oklahoma City. Had 14 games at AAA, 15 games here in L.A. And, of course, JP was on the postseason roster as well. But what kind of role do you see him having here in 2025?
You know, for all those big postseason moments that Landon Knack had, and we saw a few of them just now, I think if he's in this rotation to begin the year, it's because somebody else is injured. It's because Dustin May is headed to the bullpen, or maybe both. Most likely he is going to start the season at AAA Oklahoma City. If you look at how consistent and available he was last season, I gotta believe he's back at some point. He might be the first guy to get the call, John, in case the Dodgers need a starter. He had a really impressive rookie season, and I think on most teams, he'd be breaking camp in the major league rotation.
I think obviously with all the arms they have right now, I think Landon Knack's going to be a starter down in AAA. See what he can do. You know, start out hot, and obviously people get hurt or people don't perform. I think he's probably the first guy, you know, coming from the shuttle bus, John, you know, back and forth, getting some miles on those flights. But his mentality is so great. He has such a great makeup. You know, some guys go down to AAA and they can't handle it, or they get inside their head, or I should be on the big league roster. I don't feel like that's, you know, the case with him. I feel like he's really down to earth. He just wants to perform, and he understands the Dodgers are really trying to win another World Series.
And having those experiences, he knows now that he does belong at the big league level, even if he is starting the season at AAA. But maybe he will be with the Dodgers to start the season. All right, Saturday, rivalry renewed at Camelback Ranch. Dodgers hosting the Giants at noon here on Sportsnet LA. It will be their only meeting this spring. And while it doesn't count for anything, James, always fun to watch this rivalry. We're also going to get to see Freddie Freeman in the lineup for the second time this spring.
Yeah, good to see Freddie out there. Hopefully he can maybe leg out a double, get, you know, a little couple of reps on that ankle. But it's always good for the fans. The Giants-Dodgers is always about the fans and the energy.
Doesn't count for anything, John. 4.5 back in the Cactus League standings, and they are gunning for first place.
Yes. Thanks to the dramatics tonight provided by Dalton Rushing. The Dodgers walk-off winners in Cactus League play tonight. They'll take on the Giants coming up Saturday at noon. For JP, James, and Kirsten, I'm John. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. First pitch, noon, right here, Sportsnet LA.
さあ、ドジャースファンの皆さん、2025年シーズンが目前に迫り、いよいよ私たちのドジャースがフィールドに立つ時がやってきました。今年のオフシーズンは、まさに球界を震撼させる歴史的な補強が行われ、チームの戦力は MLB 全体でも突出したレベルに到達しました。どのポジションを見てもスター選手が揃い、ベンチメンバーまで豪華な顔ぶれが揃っています。今年こそ、ワールドシリーズ連覇を果たし、ドジャースの黄金時代を確立するシーズンになることでしょう。特に、今シーズン最大の注目は、日本が誇る天才ピッチャー、佐々木朗まれの加入です。まだ MLB で1球も投げていないにもかかわらず、すでに世界中の野球ファンが彼のデビューを待ち望んでいます。時速102マイルの強し速球、打者を翻弄する魔球フォーク、そして驚異的なコントロール。日本プロ野球で数々の伝説を築いたこの若き才能が、ついに MLB の舞台へと飛び立ちます。これまで日本から多くの投手が MLB に挑戦してきましたが、佐々木朗まれの持つポテンシャルは過去の誰とも違うものがあります。彼が MLB の強打者たちにどのように立ち向かい、新たな伝説を作り上げるのか、今から期待せずにはいられません。佐々木朗まれの加入により、ドジャースには日本人スター選手が3人も揃うという、これまでにない歴史的な瞬間を迎えています。 世界最強の二刀流プレーヤー、大谷翔平、NPB 歴代最強のエース、山本由伸、そして令和の怪物、佐々木朗まで、3人ともが日本の野球界を代表するスーパースターであり、それぞれ異なるスタイルと強みを持っています。彼らが同じチームでプレーすることで、どんな化学反応が生まれるのか、野球ファンなら誰もが楽しみにしていることでしょう。さらに、ドジャースの補強はそれだけにとどまりません。打線にはテオスカー、ヘルナンデスが加わり、彼の強烈なパワーが攻撃力をさらに押し上げます。さらに、トミー、エドマンの俊足と守備力がチームの機動力を大幅に向上させるでしょう。そして、ブルペンにはタナー、スコットが加入し、昨シーズン以上に安定感のある投手陣が完成しました。先発投手陣も、山本由伸、ブレイク、スネル、タイラー、グラスノー、そして佐々木朗までと、まさにドリームローテーションが実現しています。チームの総合力がここまで高まると、気になるのは選手同士のケミストリーですが、その点についても全く問題はなさそうです。すでに春季キャンプでは、チームの雰囲気の良さが随所に感じられます。佐々木朗までが見げる、ロハスに日本の特別な酒をプレゼントしたエピソードは、チーム内の温かい交流を象徴するものとなりました。大谷翔平と山本由伸も、同じ日本人選手として佐々木朗までの適応を全力でサポートしており、彼にとって最高の環境が整っています。ただのスター集団ではなく、選手同士の信頼関係がしっかりと築かれていることが、今年のドジャースの強みの一つと言えるでしょう。また、今年のドジャースは、単に強いチームというだけではなく、MLB 全体に新しい風を吹き込む存在になる可能性があります。過去にもヤンキースやレッドソックスのような超強豪チームがありましたが、ドジャースはそれらとは異なるアプローチでチームを構築しています。スーパースターを集めつつも、選手一人一人が個性を発揮し、全員が主役になれるチーム、それこそが、今のドジャースの最大の魅力ではないでしょうか。ファンの皆さんも、今年のシーズンがどれほど特別なものになるか、すでに実感していることでしょう。春季キャンプの段階で、すでにドジャースへの期待は過去にないほど高まっています。特に、佐々木朗までが登板予定の試合では、チケットの売れ行きが異常なスピードで進み、彼の影響力の大きさがすでに証明されています。これからレギュラーシーズンが始まり、ポストシーズンに向かっていく中で、この熱狂はさらに高まることは間違いありません。今年のドジャースは、単なるワールドシリーズ連覇を目指すチームではなく、MLB の歴史に新たな1ページを刻む存在となるでしょう。その瞬間を、ぜひファンの皆さんと一緒に見届けたいと思います。試合を観戦したら、ぜひ感想をコメントでシェアしてください。どの選手のプレーが印象的だったのか、どんなシーンが心に残ったのか、あなたの声をぜひ聞かせてください。そして、まだこのチャンネルを登録していない方は、ぜひ今すぐチャンネル登録をお願いします。今年もドジャースの最新情報や、熱い試合のハイライトをお届けしていきますので、どうぞお見逃しなく。いよいよ開幕が目前に迫った2025年シーズン。この1年を、ファンの皆さんと共に最高のものにしていきましょう。今年も熱い応援をよろしくお願いします。